The first thing is, I feel like somebody over here just moved. I feel like somebody just moved over here either with kids or either they allow their nieces or nephews to visit them a lot. Because for like the last like week or so, I noticed. I know y'all hear the noise in the background. I've noticed that there are always kids at the pool, and for the most part, kids really don't live over here. Like I've noticed a few people, like one of my this Asian girl and this white guy had a baby like a few months ago. I remember seeing them walk. She couldn't. I said, "Ooh, baby," she couldn't even walk. Um, with a newborn baby, and I remember another couple that had a newborn baby, and then it's this black girl that lives in my building. She has a child, but I think she just moved over here. But for the most part, I really don't see a lot of kids over here. But I have noticed that. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, it kind of gets on my nerves because when I'm making videos and I'm watching it back, I can hear. I know y'all heard these kids. Like when I was watching the video I did about Dr. Wendy and Eddie, like all I could hear was like the screaming and yelling at the pool. Anyways, y'all. So let's talk about Belle Collective. Hey!
This,
Be nice.
I'm finding it.
It take you that long to
It
find
does. It does. The t-
I don't mean this. I listen. Carlos King, baby, you are tacky. Yeah. I have come to the conclusion that Carlos King has no taste. And that I don't know any other way to say it. These intros that you have for your shows are absolutely horrible.
Hated it.
And cheap. Girl, where is the budget? Is there a budget? When I this intro is better than last year, but not by much. It's something about the Love and Marriage Huntsville introduction. It's something about the Bell Collective intros, and these shows are produced by Carlos King or Kingdom Reign, whatever, where it just gives cheap and animated. And I don't know what they're going for. It appears as though this is like when I look at those introduction, it looks like an introduction that would be on a YouTube web series. Someone who wanted to shoot, you know, a web series for YouTube, and the money might not be that long. The money ain't long at all, and they had to do what they had to do. when I saw Letitia snap her fingers, and them girls came up from behind her and got into formation, I said, "Girl, what is this?" I do not like that introduction. It is cheap. It is piss poor. It is sad that y'all are in the sixth season. I think this is the sixth season of this show, and this is what y'all are giving us. It's just and I just had to just the only thing I can think of is Carlos King is tacky, and there is no budget because why are you putting this out? Anyways, I want to talk about something I said last week. I changed my mind. I'm a grown man and I'm allowed to change my mind. I still stand on what I said about Amanda and how she's coming into this show and how she's going about spilling the beans about Glendale and how he's her type, so she entertained him, and she too much really don't like Letitia. I still stand on everything I said about that because I still think that's whack, but I don't think I care if that makes sense because sometimes I be forgetting, and then some of y'all said it in the comments. Letitia, I forgot how nasty and trifling they say that you were allegedly moving with other folks' marriages. I forgot that Akeisha came down to the show and said that you and your husband were trying to get some woman to basically slide in, I think, Willie's DMs. I forgot the story that Akeisha told, basically trying to set Willie up. I forgot that that's what they said. Now, again, this is all alleged. That doesn't mean that it's true. But Letitia has done some shady shit on this show, meeting up with Tambra's ex-boyfriend or some man who she used to date, and she was in and out of court with him. I forgot how nasty and dirty and low down and trifling Letitia could be. So when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Even though Amanda, you still trifling this shit, I don't care that Amanda did what she did. If that makes sense, I'm not defending Letitia. Because Letitia, I forgot how you get down. Amanda, you still ain't shit though. But Letitia ain't shit either. And Glenn ain't shit. Okay? Glenn is probably the biggest ain't shit out of everybody. And then it just looks as though when I started when I saw how they show what was happening throughout the season, I wouldn't even put it past Glenn and Letitia to have set this up for a storyline at this point. And I've said it. I do believe that Glenn and Letitia are just using their marriage as a storyline. I don't think that Letitia has any intention of ever leaving Glenn, and that's fine. You don't have to leave your husband if you don't want to, but I don't think. I just think that this is just a game for them, and I could possibly even see them even probably getting with Amanda to try to set some shit up. But we're gonna figure it out though. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so Lakeisha meets up with Carrie. Lakeisha finally, not Lakeisha, Letitia. Letitia finally tells us that she's a paralegal, a Belle's bondsman, a mentor, and she's a brunch queen. Anyway, she wants to relaunch her. I think it's called the Women Brunch Mississippi. She wants to relaunch that. So, girl, basically, girl, ain't shit going on with Letitia. Um, Marie and Essie meet up. Marie basically wants to retire. Essie says that she needs Marie to give her at least 12 more months. And Marie is like, nah, girl, I'm done. I want to, she basically doesn't want to be in her position anymore. Um, I think she'll still own I think she'll still, but I just don't think, I think she doesn't want to be in her position as, what is the position at the company? I can't remember, girl. Um, Essie tells her, bitch, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of screamed when Essie said this. Essie told her, well, girl, if you wasn't trying to juggle all these men, you could do it. Oh, girl. And I will say this much, Marie, is in, I understand that Marie has lupus, and I think that Essie is dealing with an illness. But Marie, for the most part, seems to be in, decent health. Um, I would say, if I could see why Essie would want her to stick around at least for 12 months, because if Essie is sick, Marie is ill. But I would say just kind of wait until we can kind of, give your sister 12 more months, girl. Marie basically, I'm not gonna lie, Marie kind of did have me laughing. um, Marie, you know what? I was thinking about this, girl. We're just talking. Somebody said this in the comment section. I think that's what it is for me. There are no stars on this show. None of the girls are really like that girl. I mean, they might be that girl at what they do as professionals, right? But as far as reality TV, none of the girls are like that girl. Marie ain't, Tambra ain't. Tambra shouldn't even be on the show. I don't even think she came around. Why is Tambra on the show? Um, Latrice is not. Letitia is not. Marie is not. Carrie ain't. Carrie might. I don't know. But right now, it is not giving like the girl of the girls of the girls. There's not a Nene on the show. It's not a King on the show. It's not a. It's not like a girl who is that girl. It's not a reality TV star. That's what basically what it is. Anyways, so Marie says that I'm that bitch. Um, because she was basically dancing with two men at her party. You know, she had Martin there, and then she had Cedric. Cedric is her ex-husband. Martin is a man who she claims she's been dating for 8 months. Girl, Marie ain't been dating that. I do believe that Marie and that man have been hanging out based off of the photos, based off of the videos, but I don't think that it was any there. I wouldn't say dating, I would say friends. That's what Martin and Marie gave me. It gave me more of a friendship, but it did not give me dating. The first time I saw that man kiss Marie was at the end of the episode. We'll get into it. Like he kissed her on the cheek, gave her a peck on the cheek. I refuse to believe that 8 months into dating, y'all can't even kiss when y'all meet up. You might not be having sex, even though, girl, for the most part, ain't too many people walking around here dating somebody 8 months in and ain't fucked. But I know everybody ain't loose. Be very clear. If I date somebody for 8 months, bitch, we fucking. Bitch, quiet as it's kept. We probably done fuck by the end of the week. I gotta see what I'm getting myself into, baby. Okay? Damn sure ain't waiting no 8 months, baby. Girl, you could go. I'm too grown for that. Anyways, but yeah, I don't think that Marie and Martin were ever dating. I don't at all. I think that this was just something that Marie wanted to use as a storyline. I think it was definitely a friendship there, but past the friendship, no. Um, oh yeah, she basically was talking about how her hanging out with Martin has kind of opened her eyes up to try different things. Like they went jet skiing, and I think that I love stuff like that. Believe it or not, like I love when you can meet people even though I'm not this big adventurous person, but I think it's so dope when people like when y'all meet people and they open your eyes or just have you trying different things, right? Marie said she would have never went jet skiing, and I know for some people that's not that big of a thing. Um, for me, that would be a big thing because one, I don't really get in the water like that, and then two, I can't swim. So if you ever saw me on a jet ski, girl, somebody really convinced me to do some shit like that. Okay, because I don't play with the water. Um, but yeah, she's basically saying that for her, she would have never jet skied a day in her life, and basically Martin is opening her up to try different things, which I think is an amazing. It is amazing. Um, oh, Marie and Cedric, girl, the next scene, honey. Baby, I see somebody in the kitchen and I see a robe, and then they show somebody lying in the bed. And baby, it's Maria at Cedric's house. And she's in the kitchen. He said, what you in there cooking? She said, it's a surprise. Girl, Marie wasn't in there cooking shit. Girl, she was in there rinsing off some fucking fruit and cutting the fruit up without a cutting board. Oh, when I say I do not hate, girl, the older I know I'm getting old because some stuff I just don't like. Girl, when I was 18, I was quick to probably cut something on the counter, just get a knife and just start cutting. Okay, but girl, I do not like when I see people cutting stuff up and they don't have a cutting board. Oh, that drives me insane. And I'm not even a cooker, right? I can go in there and fix me something if I need to. But even like something as simple as fruit, right? I just feel like if you start to cut something, you need a cutting board. Don't cut stuff on the counter. Even though, like I said, I'm 10 times out of 10 sure that when I was probably, 18, 19, when I got my first apartment, I know for a fact I didn't have a cutting board. Let me stop saying that. No, I'm sure I was cutting on the counter. Bitch, just fucking the counter up. Anyways, but that just goes to show that Cedric ain't got shit in his house. Girl ain't got no cutting boards. Probably got knives, forks, spoons, cups. So she's at Cedric's house basically. She's making him some fruit, not making him, girl, cutting some fruit, and made him a cup of coffee and a glass of water, and uh, she goes in the kitchen. I mean, she goes in the bath. I mean, in the bedroom, gives him the water and the coffee and the fruit, and they have a conversation. And he basically told her, long story short, that he was going to wait for her. I guess he was going to wait for her to make her decision on what she wanted to do. And she lets him know that I'm here with you, girl. I don't know, girl. I know people. I know people circle the block all the time, but girl, I don't know, girl. I don't know. Anyways, Selena and Mike. Selena says that Mike is not big on communication. She says that he says 2 or 3 words and expects her to read his mind. That shit would piss me off. Baby, y'all ever see I like to talk. I don't like people like that. I don't like when y'all do it, if we're gonna be honest. Like when y'all I'm gonna get on to I'm about to defend the men for a second. I'm about to defend the men for a second. You know what I hate? I hate when y'all women, girl, you see here I go, y'all women. You see how I switched up on y'all? Okay. I hate when y'all women, girl, y'all are hungry, but instead of telling the man what you want to eat, the man has to play this guessing game of what you want to eat or what I should get you. Girl, if you don't open up your motherfucking mouth and tell this nigga what the fuck you want to eat, I shouldn't have to sit around and play the guessing game with a grown ass woman. When I tell you that, when I see that shit drives me up a wall. And and that happens all the time in relationships. So what you want to eat? I don't know. What you want to eat here? No. What about here? I don't know. Well, just tell me what you want to eat. I don't know what I want to eat. What do you mean you don't know what you want to eat? Just I don't know. What you want to eat here? No. Okay, well I don't want. Well, I'm hungry, girl. I'm not playing it, girl. I could not be in a relationship like that. Girl, I'm not playing these back and forth games with nobody. I'm not about to sit there and try to guess what you feel, what you think, because you don't want to open up your motherfucking mouth and talk. Because baby, I'm a real talkative person, as you can see. Probably talk too goddamn much. Um. Anyways, so I know y'all heard when Selena said that Mike went out of town. He was going to Texas, and she said he wasn't picking up his phone. Oh, girl. One, Selena said she said this last episode that Mike never told her he was going out of town. He said he did. She said no, you didn't. You never told me you was going out of town. You never told me you was going to Texas. I think he came. I think he went to Texas. And so now you telling me you told me something I know your black ass didn't tell me. And now you out of town. You're not picking up your phone. Mm-mm. 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 It's a no for me. It's a hell no. Okay. Listen, I believe that if you can't trust your partner, you shouldn't even be with them. I know it's easier said than done for some of y'all, but if I can't trust you, if I start thinking about what you might be doing, baby, I can't do it. I can't do it. You're not about to have. I should. You're not answering your phone. You out of town. I shouldn't even. It shouldn't even pop in my mind that you might be doing something you ain't got no business doing. Because I'm not about to drive myself crazy trying to think about what you might or might not be doing, why you not answering your phone. You could be hurt or you could be fucking some bitch. You know what I'm saying? What if he hurt? But what if he not hurt? What if he cheating on me, girl? What if he not cheating on you? What if he sleep? What if he taking a nap? What if his phone dead? What if he forgot his phone at the hotel? Or what, you know, what, like, I don't have time. Anyways, and then baby, when I tell you, bitch, girl, Rich, 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 and then Selena. Selena is so pretty. Well, girl, Selena, you gotta be a little. You must be a little slow, and I say that with love. Baby, she said the Pearsons are pretty much gonna be their mentors. Now that she didn't say mentors, but basically they're gonna go get couples advice from the Pearsons. If y'all don't know who the Pearsons are, I'm talking about Glendale and Tisha. I'm talking about Glendale and Tisha. I'm talking about Glendale and fucking Letitia. Letitia, who stays in her marriage after she gets cheated on time and time and time again, after her husband took a paternity test to see if he was the father of another bitch child. That couple. Letitia, who said that girl, she would raise the baby. And you taking advice from them, girl, I'm about to say something and I'm not gonna take it back. I have noticed a long time ago that married people are people who want to be married. They feel the best people to take advice from are married people because they feel like they know. But I just feel like it's because they really not gonna tell y'all shouldn't be together. Like Glenn and Letitia not gonna tell Mike and Celinda they shouldn't be together. Not to say they should. But girl, you taking advice from Glendale and Letitia because they're married and because they've been through some stuff, girl, that is absolutely insane to me. That is insane to me. Anyways, we'll talk about it more when they have the couples therapy. Glendale and Letitia can tell me shit. Okay. So Letitia has her brunch. Can I say something, y'all? I do believe there's a time and a place, believe it or not. And I do believe that sometimes when you go to certain things, you should try to wear an outfit or put together something that might be suitable for the event that you're going to. I thought Latrice looked fab, but that dress that Latrice had on at that brunch was not for no fucking brunch at all. Latrice could have wore that dress to the club. Maybe she was going to the club afterwards. Girl, you should have had an outfit in the car, girl, to change into. All of this out, the cutout in the middle, the titties out. I was like, girl, this is a lot for a women's brunch. To me, the way Letitia was dressed, I thought Letitia would look very, very nice. I loved her suit and her heels. Even though I didn't like what Carrie had on, Carrie was still dressed for the what was happening. Marie looked a fool. Marie did look like she was going to a Renaissance concert. Girl, where are you going? I just believe in some stuff. I do believe that you should try to abide by some type of dress code. Don't be showing up to a women's brunch, girl, looking like you're going to the club. Girl, just throw on a cute little blouse, a skirt, some slacks, a blazer. Girl, you can have your titties out, but girl, all of this out. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, girl, where is Latrice going? Girl, she look good, but girl, where is you going? Marie, where is you going with this denim, this cutout denim over this silver skirt? I don't know. With these bandeau knots. Girl, all I could think about was the Renaissance concert and Beyonce in that video where she be like, do you know it? My body so got a king body. Body gon' shine, bling bling body. Anyways, girl. Um, Carrie basically says that Marie looks like a spaceship navigator. Bitch, I'm not gonna lie. I did holler when she said that. You know, Beyonce got the game fucked up. Ever since Beyonce had y'all come out during her birthday, girl, during the Renaissance, you know, people were already wearing silver anyways, but her birthday, like for a certain, like for a week or two around her birthday, she requested that everybody wear like basically silver. And so I swear to God, every time I see silver, I think of the Renaissance concert. I bought these Steve Madden. I don't. When I say I hate Steve Madden tennis shoes, I love their boots, but I'm not a big Steve Madden tennis shoe person. But there was these tennis shoes that they came out with probably like last year sometime, and they were silver, and I was like, these are so fucking cute. It really was kind of like a dupe of the Adidas. I think the Adidas Samba. You know what I'm talking about with the tongue flap. It was like that style. The girls know what I'm talking. If you know, you know. But it was all silver, and I was like, these are so cute, and so I got them. But of course, I was thinking like, girl, you gonna look like Renaissance. So because ever since Beyonce did the Renaissance concert, every time I see silver, I think of Renaissance. God. Anyways, um, but Carrie said that that Marie looked like a spaceship navigator. She said it in front of she said it in front of Marie's face, but I don't think Marie heard her because she brought it up later on in the episode. And then Marie basically says, "Well, since y'all want to talk about my business, because they were basically talking about Marie having Martin and Cedric at her party." And so Marie says, "Well, since y'all want to talk about my business, let me ask a question. How many of y'all have experienced infidelity in your marriage?" No, I'm not gonna lie. Even I was like, girl, that is a left field. Like, I don't know. I was even low key with them, like, bitch, where did that question come from? Like, in the girl's defense, Marie, it's not like they're just sitting around talking about you just because. Girl, we go to your party, and not only is your ex husband there that you're dating, but also this white man who you say you've been dating for 8 months, he's there, and they're talking, and then we look up, and girl, they twirling you around on the dance floor together. So of course that will be a topic of conversation amongst the friend group. We're just not talking about you, Marie, just to talk about you. Girl, you put us in your business at this point. So hell yeah, we talking about it. Okay. Um, and then Selena and Latrice, they have a conversation. And basically, from what Latrice said, you know, Marie, what's her name? Selena was supposed to be the bar manager at the restaurant that her and her husband opened, that Latrice and what's it name? Cliff opened. But some stuff was happening. I think, you know, some stuff was happening around the time. I think that her dog, Selena's dog died. She got into a wreck, I believe, and so she just didn't show up. And Latrice kind of felt some way about that. Girl, I was kind of with Latrice on this one. Even though you might be going through something, that does not mean you just can't just show up to work. The fuck, girl? That's like, girl, what? I know, I understand what you're telling me, but just not to show up to work, I would feel some type of way too. So now Selena says that she's in her feelings. How the fuck you in your feelings? Girl, I feel like Selena tried to pull the switcheroo. How you mad at Latrice because basically Latrice is mad at you for not bringing your ass to work when, girl, I'm trying to open up a business. You see what I'm saying? I was with Latrice on that one, low key. But it's not, you know, it's not that big of a deal. They hugged it out. But I can understand you going through stuff, but girl, you still didn't even call. You just didn't come to work. And girl, you know I'm trying to get this business off the ground. Like, what is the tea? But yeah, they hugged it out, baby. And so Marie and Carrie, they pretty much are gonna be the ones that are beefing this season. Baby, when I tell the truth, girl, when girl, Marie basically told her, I heard, it just got back to me what you said about my outfit, basically calling me a spaceship navigator. And she basically told her, long story short, girl, you can't really talk with this drawstring ponytail. You Bitch, when she said drawstring ponytail, baby, I screamed because I have not heard the term drawstring ponytail in forever. Yeah. I have not heard the word drawstring ponytail in forever. And when Marie said it, I screamed. Then she said, with this grandma ish you got on. Carrie, I don't like Carrie's outfit either. Don't get it twisted. The only outfit I really like, the only people I really thought that looked nice were Selena, Letitia. Latrice looked nice. Latrice just didn't. I was, where the fuck is Latrice going? And Marie could have been going to a club too. But I didn't like Carrie's outfit, but I thought at least Carrie was dressed more for the occasion. You know what I'm saying? It was giving grandma-ish type of feel. Um, but they kind of like, Marie twirls off, so clearly Marie and Carrie are gonna have like a little back and forth. It what did y'all see that part when Carrie walked up to Latrice, and I don't think Latrice knew who she was, because remember Latrice didn't go to the party last week. Latrice didn't go to Marie's party. So when Carrie walked up to Latrice, I think Latrice really was kind of like, who is this bitch in my face? And the way that Carrie walked up was like, hey, girl, so I'm so and so. I was looking for you last week. And Latrice was like, girl, who are you? Basically. They didn't do a good job at basically trying to introduce Latrice and Carrie. Anyway, Selena goes over to her daughter's home, and one of her daughters is having another baby, and she's basically talking to them about Mike, um, and saying how she knows that they love Mike, and one of the daughters basically said that Mike came at a time where it was needed because it was around the time Selena's son was unalived, and because they were grieving the loss of their brother, and then she was grieving the loss of her son, that they really couldn't be there for her. And so when Mike came into the picture, he kind of stepped up to the plate. And so I don't know if Selena feels like that's her knight in shining armor. Was it knight in shining armor? Yeah. And he came to rescue her. I don't know. At a time where she really needed some assistance. I don't know. That's what it kind of sounds like. And so she kind of like clinged on to him. And out of that, they just kind of like, I guess, got into a relationship. But, you know, so far, Mike doesn't seem like a horrible person. It just sounds like the communication is not there, which I think is a big thing. I think communication is a big key. Is a big situation. Um, um, and that's pretty much it. She just lets them know that she's basically still pissed off because he bought a boat one time without talking. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not. I think. Listen. I think. Girl, this is just for me. If I ever was in a relationship, he gonna have his own checking account. I might have my own checking account. We can have a checking account together for bills or whatever. If that's what we're doing. If we live together. Um, but I do believe that if we're gonna be in a relationship, girl, when you just out here buying big purchases like that, like it's not like, girl, y'all over here like one of you Jay-Z and one of you Beyonce. Like I'm sure the money with Mike and Selena is limited. Beyonce can probably go out and buy a whole car, and Jay Z ain't gonna say shit because Beyonce got her own real long money. You see what I'm saying? Versus Selena and Mike, who are supposed to be saving up for a wedding, when they really should just take their ass down to the courthouse. They're saving up for a wedding. How are we going to save up for a wedding if you're out here making these big purchases and we're not even talking about it? You see what I'm saying? Like that's the problem. The problem is we don't have the money like that, and we are trying to save up for a wedding. But every time I look up, you're making these big purchases without having just enough decency to have a conversation with me or respect for the relationship. It's not like I'm saying because you went out and bought a pair of Nikes, or you went and bought a T-shirt from Macy's. Baby, you bought a whole boat, and then you turned around and bought a whole fucking 18-wheeler. The fuck? Anyways, so Martin and Marie, basically, girl, Marie uses Marie breaks up with Martin, girl. That's what it comes down to, girl. That relate, like I said, girl, broke up. That pizza looked good as fuck though. I said I want to go to Jackson just to try that pizza. That pizza looked good as hell to me. Basically, Martin went to go see his kids, I think, in Germany. He comes back home. She says she picked him up from the airport. She said they hung out the next day. And then she said he disappeared for 3 weeks. I said, not he used you for a ride home. Girl. And she basically felt some type of way about it. Like, how do you just ghost me 3 weeks? Well, I said, well, bitch, it's not like you just didn't have this nigga up and, like, girl, we're not going to play this game now. Wow, girl, we're not gonna pretend that for most people, even though Martin and we're just gonna play along with the game, okay? Because we know Martin, Marie were not together, but we're just gonna play. Well, at least I don't think they were. Most people are not going to really feel comfortable, even if they are putting on a brave face, a smile, right? I'm on the dance floor dancing with you and your ex-husband. For most people, I think that would be uncomfortable. So if this happened after that, why don't you understand why he backed away for 3 weeks? I would have too. Girl, you got me in the same building with your ex-husband on the dance floor, dancing with you and this nigga. Hell yeah, I'm backing away for 3 weeks. Okay? Probably forever. Okay. Um, and then Marie basically says that he ghosted her and her feelings are hurt, and then she says, I can't see you no more. Girl, that was pretty much the end of it, girl. All right, y'all. I'm gone. I'm about to watch Potomac, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.